What's going on, everybody? This is Casey Supreme with Internet Money. Today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on 808's and synth bass, and more specifically how to use them together in the same beat. I personally like to do this technique in a lot of my beats. I love switching from an 808 to a synth bass in the hook or something like that. So that's why I have this beat open. It's a beat I recently dropped. It's a future type beat called East, so it's on my channel if you want to check it out. But I have an 808 in the verse and I have a synth bass in the hook. So I'm going to show you how to switch between the two back and forth seamlessly without having any issues or clashing or anything like that. So I'm going to play this beat. I've left in the imperfections and the problems so that you can hear them. And so I'm going to play that now so you can hear what's going on. Okay, so if you have a good ear, you might have been able to hear the clashing right in this area where the 808 and the synth bass meet. So I'm actually going to solo the 808 and the synth bass and play it so you can hear it a little bit easier. So you should be able to hear the muddiness and just the mess that is in that area. And the reason this is happening is because the 808 is ringing out past when the pattern stops. So if I play this 808, listen what happens after this pattern clip ends. So you can hear the last note of the 808 is ringing out further than we want it to. So there's a few different ways to fix this problem. One of them would be to bounce the 808 and the synth bass out to audio tracks, because on an audio track like this one right here, if you pull this back, wherever you end the clip is when the audio is going to stop, as you can hear. So that's one way to tackle it. I personally don't like that technique because then I don't have flexibility to go back and change the MIDI if I ever need to. So I just like to leave it as a MIDI file. And so the other two ways to tackle this issue are to make it so when the 808 plays and the synth bass plays, they cut each other off. And that's a built-in function in FL Studio. So if we go to this synth bass and we go to this wrench tool right here, we see a thing called group, and it's set to cut itself. Same thing when you right click something right here and you do cut itself. It has a check next to it. This is like further settings for that function. And as you can see, the synth bass is set to 4. So it's cutting 4 and cut by 4, which is itself. It's cutting itself. And then we have the 808, which is set to 6 and 6. So one way to fix this is to set the 808 and the synth bass to the same channel. So we're going to take this synth bass and we're going to set it to 6. Cut 6 and cut by 6. So now they're both set to 6. So that means it kind of groups them together in that sense, and it cuts each other off. So now if I solo the 808 and I solo the synth bass, you're going to hear that it's going to cut the 808 off once the synth bass starts. I know it's subtle, but it's definitely doing the trick, and there's no clashing between the two. So that's one way to tackle it. There's actually another way to do it, which involves the actual MIDI. Okay, so we don't need to mess with the synth bass for this, but basically what this is going to do, let's set this back to 4 and 4 so that I can demonstrate this. So as you can hear, it's ringing out again. And the way to fix this is to open the 808, go to this tab right here, which is the envelope tab. And we want to make sure that we're on volume, none of these other ones. Make sure it's on volume. And a way to fix this is to turn the hold all the way up. And then we just want to turn every other knob all the way down. And it creates this square. And what this square envelope is doing is it's telling the instrument when you hold down a key, the 808 will ring out as long as you hold the key. And once you release that key, it's going to stop. So, for example, if I play on my keyboard, we can get those really short notes because once I release the key on my keyboard, the 808 stops. So now that we've set that, the 808 won't ring out anymore. And a lot of people, when they use an 808, it probably looks something like this when they play the pattern in, because without that hold function on, any size note rings out, if that makes sense. So even when the notes are this short, it's going to ring out all the way to the next note. And when we have this envelope set like this, it's not going to work, because now when we play our 808, basically as long as these notes are is as long as the 808 is going to play. So if you have your 808 set up like this, you want to set that envelope, and then what you're going to want to do, I'll show you the shortcut for it. You want to elongate all these notes so that they're touching, so that the 808 plays seamlessly through. It doesn't have any pauses. So one way to do that is to set a note at the end of the pattern. So 9 is the end. You want to place the note right on the line right here. And then we're just going to hit Control and L on your keyboard. And then you can just delete this end note. So now this is all stretched out so that every note is touching. And so now we fix the problem. So that's how you fix the clashing between the two. So if you're having problems with your 808s extending past where the clip ends and you want to blend it with the synth bass, this is how you do it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial, and I'll catch you guys on another tutorial. Let me know in the comments what you guys want, because I'm always open to ideas on what to do. This was actually a request. Someone asked me to do this tutorial. So yeah, leave a comment down below and I could probably do your tutorial next.